Do you know that feeling? That specific type of cold that hits the back of your neck when you are completely alone. It isn't the temperature. It is instinct. It is your body telling you that you are being watched, even when your eyes see nothing. Until last autumn, I thought that was just a primal fear, a trick of the mind. But I was wrong. My name is Liang. In late 2024, to pay off my tuition, I took the graveyard shift at a gas station off the interstate. It was a place forgotten by time, backed by miles of dense, black pine forest. The worst part wasn't the darkness outside. It was the light inside. The store was a glass box. At 3 a.m., under the humming fluorescent lights, I was on display, like a fish in a glowing tank. If something was watching me from the tree line, I couldn't see it, but it could see every move I made. The store had a massive walk-in cooler in the back. It was the only blind spot from the counter. One night, around 2:15 a.m., a car rolled into the lot. It didn't have its headlights on. It was an old, beat-up, gray sedan that stopped right at the edge of the light, half swallowed by the shadows. A man got out. He was tall, wearing a trench coat that looked too heavy for the season. The electronic doorbell chimed, a harsh, digital sound that echoed too loudly. He walked in. He didn't look at the shelves. He didn't look at the food. His neck was craned up, staring directly at the CCTV cameras in the corners. He walked to the counter. He didn't buy anything. He just leaned in, pressing his forehead against the safety glass. His eyes were muddy, unfocused. He smiled and asked, "Are you alone tonight? Is the cooler door locked?" My stomach dropped. I lied. I told him the manager was in the back office. He stared at me for a long time, his smile fading into a blank expression. Then, without a word, he turned and left. I watched his tail, lights, disappear. I locked the front door for a moment, just to breathe. I thought that was it. I thought he was just a creep passing through. An hour passed. The silence returned, heavier than before. I unlocked the door to let a delivery driver in later, then went to the cooler to restock milk. The fans inside were deafening. I was in there for maybe 10 minutes. When I grabbed a crate, I heard it. Click, clack. It was the sound of the cooler's outer handle snapping back. The sound of someone letting go of the door. I froze. I pushed the door open and ran out. The store was empty. The front door was closed. The bell hadn't chimed. The parking lot was empty. "You're losing it," I whispered to myself. I forced myself to go back to the counter. But the air, it smelled different. Stale tobacco and unwashed clothes. A smell that wasn't there before. I couldn't shake the feeling. I pulled up the security camera feed on the monitor. I needed to prove to myself that I was alone. I rewound the footage to 10 minutes ago, to the moment I entered the cooler. I watched myself walk into the back. 10 seconds later, the side emergency exit, which I thought was jammed shut, pried open. The man in the trench coat slipped in. He was barefoot. He moved silently across the linoleum. He didn't leave on the screen. I watched him crawl on top of the shelves. He moved like an insect, limbs splayed out, climbing up the racking until he reached the maintenance space above the walk-in cooler. He pulled himself up into the darkness above the ceiling tiles. The video ended. It went back to the live feed. My blood turned to ice. I was sitting at the counter. The cooler was directly behind me. The maintenance vent was directly above my head. Slowly, terrifyingly slowly, I tilted my head back to look at the vent. Through the dusty slats of the grate, in the pitch blackness of the ceiling void, two wide, bloodshot eyes were looking vertically down at me. He hadn't left. He had been watching me panic for the last hour, right from above. At that exact second, the power cut. The store plunged into darkness, lit only by the red emergency exit sign. I didn't scream. I grabbed my keys and bolted. I heard a heavy thud hit the floor behind me, followed by the slap of bare feet running on tiles. I made it to my car. I locked it. My hands were shaking so hard I dropped the keys. As I finally started the engine and the headlights flooded the store, I saw him. He was standing at the glass window, right where I had been sitting. He was holding the box cutter I used for stalking. He waved at me, a slow, friendly wave. The police came. He was gone. But on top of the cooler, they found a sleeping bag, candy wrappers, and a peephole drilled through the ceiling tile looking down at the register. I quit that morning. So, do you know that feeling? That feeling that you're being watched? Don't ignore it. And whatever you do, don't look up.